What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jay, aka Straight Drop Jay, and you're now watching Reason Gang TV. So today, we're gonna do a tutorial on the Grain Sample Manipulator. Now to me, the Grain is like Europa's little brother, yet equally as strong, with different types of effects and different manipulation techniques. It starts out with a sample, and that's the oscillator that it begins with, and it goes crazy from there on. I think it's a real beast, and let's get into it. Let's go. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna start off with a sample that I randomly pick, and we're gonna start from there and just manipulate from there on. Let's go. Okay, so I went in one of my old refills, the old DNA Labs refills, and it's called Alien 2 DNA, and that's what it sounds like. Now, as soon as we drop it in, it's gonna auto key map everything so it's on tune. So that's our starting point. We just grab any crazy sound and just start from there. So now the next thing that we could do is, what I would do is either forward loop or one shot or freeze, but I like to just leave it on forward loop. So that means it goes forward and keeps going forward over and over. Speed, of course it will change the speed. Let me record a little loop real quick, and we're gonna be able to listen to it and preview it. Let me quickly quantize it. Okay. So I'm gonna turn it down a little bit so you can hear me a little better. All right. So we could play with the speed. It sounds a little richer when you bring the speed up. Let me show you what it sounds like when you change the loop directions. You can't really hear that much unless you were holding it. That's one shot, forward loop. Forward back loop. It's like a pendulum. End freeze. Takes the end and it keeps going over and over. An envelope, which would be applied from the envelope. Now, freeze. I think that's just over and over a little part. Okay. So now that we know what the speed and then the motion is, let's go back to forward loop. Let's play with jitter, and I'll show you what jitter does. It sort of smooths out and adds more jitter or takes it out. Okay, so this is the key mapping. Global position, we'll just keep the global position. This is key mapping. It's already going to stay right there at C3, and unless you change it. And we could go down now to the pan spread. This creates a stereo field. So let me show you. It's like it jumps around as you press different keys. Okay, I'm kind of already bored with that sample. Let's leave all these settings, but let's go to, let's say, I think I like this one. Okay, it's a little choppy. I like that. A little more digital. So the pan spread basically makes it stereo, and the different keys you press, it jumps around. Mono, super stereo. Pitch jitter, this will bring, this is sort of like a different type of pitch drift. Almost like a tape drift. It's not your average tape drift random waveform. It sounds more like a sharp square random than a sine random. But it gives it a nice cool digital effect that's sort of analog. Right here's the grain length. This is cool. This is where it starts getting into a choppy gate type sound. Now the rate, of course the speed. X fade. How sharp the cutting of the gate will sound. Smoother, sharper. Okay, now we come to the pitch area. That's octaves, of course, you know that goes up 12 and down 12 keys. Semis, these are each keys. Each key one by one. Tune, that's in between each key. So here, this is the normal key. That's one key up, and this is all the values in between. Right in the middle, one key down. KBD, that's your keyboard tracking. All right, oscillator. This is a sub oscillator. This could thicken up your sound real quick. Your mod. And your waveform. You see how it warms it up? Now we could take the level and fade it in nice in the background. See, without it, it'd be a little more dry. Maybe another octave for a little thickness. Okay, so that's a sub oscillator. Now, from up here, we could either go up straight to the amplifier, or we could go bypass that and go straight into a filter. And that's this button right here, similar to how the Thor works. So this is bypassing this whole section, and this is going through this section and then to the amplifier. So now we have a choice of LP ladder 24, LP 12, bandpass 12, and high pass 12. Basically your bread and butter, what you need in terms of filters. Resonance. That's the spike right at the frequency cut. Now, same thing right here. The sub oscillator could either go straight to the amp, or we could run it through the filter. Let me turn this off so you can't hear it. This is just the sub now we're listening to. So, say we wanted the envelope to modulate it slightly. Let's turn that volume up. I mean that amount. And it's envelope 2 that controls this. So, right here is envelope 2. Let's play with it and give it a different value. Or we could give it a crazy preset. Now, we have the sub sounding cool. Let's turn the sub off, the sub oscillator. Now turn up the normal grain manipulated sample we began with. Fade this in. Now after that, after we've edited those, now we reach the main Adsr amplifier, which is attack, decay, sustain, release. I want it to have a little more of a release. I don't want it to sustain so much. Velocity, we could turn it up a little, or turn it down, and then turn the gain up. Of course, we could control the pan, but I like the middle pan. So now we have a nice sound going on, and it sounds really unique. Now say we want to edit it a little bit with some effects. So we come right here to the effects section, just like the Europa, and we'll add either a chorus flanger or phaser. Phasers are really nice. Let's hear that. Now we're starting to get a high quality sound. A little distortion. I don't know if I want to add it. Maybe put it real subtle. EQ to add a little bit of high end in there so it's cutting. Fix the Q a little wider. Let's add some delay for the wetness. Ping pong for the stereo. Maybe not ping pong, it's already super stereo. A little compressor for that antidote sound. Antidote is notorious for its really buttery smooth compressor that just adds a nice analog sound to their saws, their super saws. But I think this one sounds really transparent and nice as well. So turn the threshold to catch it, the ratio to increase the amount. Maybe I added a little too much distortion. Sounding nice and contained, let's add a little reverb. Bring the volume up. So now we have a nice wet sound using all the effects. Now we want to modulate it a little bit. So let's go, and these all come stock like this, but I like to clear them and start really stock. Nothing's going on right now. So we'll start with I love the Lfos, the way Lfos sound on filters. Let's go with a preset that goes crazy. Let's go right here. And basically these presets put multiple values in your envelope, and you could have it loop or not loop. I like the loop. It's sort of like a detailed LFO. Now let's go to a destination where that I'm sorry, I had LFO. We're really gonna go for envelope 1. That's what we're controlling right here. So we'll go to a destination of a filter. So right here, frequency. Now let's see how this affects this cutoff right here on the whole sound. Beat sync it. Let's see how the different presets sound. This is the inverted value of that. Okay, so we have a little bit of modulation going on. Let's do some more. Let's link the first LFO to this. The grain length. That's a really cool section. So now LFO 1 with the value at 100. This will control this. Let's make it slow so we could hear it do something. You see the heavy modulation that this grain sample manipulator is capable of? Now, we always want to route something to the mod wheel because that's just what the pros do. You want to be able to play with the sound while you're performing without going back to the actual synth. Unless you have a big crazy MIDI controller with knobs everywhere, which yeah, I'm gonna get one of those soon. It's called the Matrix Brute. It's also an analog synthesizer, but it's a crazy big MIDI controller also, and it's gonna be able to control all the knobs. I'll go into that later when I get it, but for now, let's route the modulation wheel that's in performance to, let's link it to an LFO, and I'm gonna do this the non-traditional way. I'm gonna use it as a scale, which instead of putting mod here, I'm just gonna go and put an LFO. Let's use 3. I know that's open. Let's use 3 and link that at 100% to the pitch. Now that sounds weird, right? But we don't want it to kick in until we move the mod wheel. So now it's not doing anything until we move the mod wheel. Now, I want the mod wheel to do a little bit more. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm sorry. Let's do that the way I just did it, as the mod wheel as a scale. So let's link another LFO3 to another position. The oscillator pitch. Now this will control the sub-oscillator pitch now, not the sampled pitch. So link this right here, performance, mod wheel. Now listen to it, it'll control everything. Nothing's going on, everything's going on, because I did the values in reverse. You could put them all the way up. Now this is normal without inverted values. So every time I have the mod wheel over in scale, it basically only does what's going on right here when I turn the mod wheel up, because this determines the scale of what this will affect the synthesizer. So there's another way to do that, and that's just by making the mod wheel right here. And then say we wanted to do the position, or yeah, let's do the start position of right here. So we're gonna edit this. So the more you put this up, it's gonna modulate the start position of the sound. Now you hear a lot going on because I have these going on, but it basically is changing the start position. We could route that to anything. We could basically route that to the reverb decay. So let's turn that up. When we turn it, right now it would be normal. We turn it up, it'll be a lot. See the reverb decay? Normal, a lot. Now we're hearing a lot of this modulation. Let me put that back so you just hear the reverb. Back to normal. So that's how you create in the Grain Sample Manipulator Synthesizer. It's incredible. Reason outdid theirself when they made this synth, and I'm inspired to make some dope sounds now. But I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe, and if you like it, like it. If you don't, let me know how I could change it and do things better. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on the Grain. It's a serious synthesizer. The grain manipulation is from another world, another realm. I just want you guys to know that I'm trying to do tutorials every single day. I might miss a day here and there, but we're gonna go ham. We're gonna go hard as a motherfucker, doing all the sounds we can, all the synthesizers, all the instruments, and I appreciate you guys for watching, and you are now part of the gang. So your gang initiation is subscribe. Till next time, guys. See you later. Straight Drop J signing out.